All right, let's talk about something that I know drives a lot of teachers crazy. Are you one of those teachers who feels more like a nomad, constantly wheeling a cart from one end of the school to the other? If that's you, then you're in the right place. We're going to tackle one of the biggest frustrations out there. How do you create an amazing learning environment when you don't even have a classroom to call your own?
Okay, let's just start with this quote because, wow, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? I'm sure so many of you are nodding along right now. It really gets to the heart of the problem. That feeling of wanting to build a real home for your subject, a special space for your students, but you're constantly blocked by the reality of sharing rooms all over the building.
And this feeling is so common because a dedicated room, it's just so much more than four walls. Think about it this way. A PE teacher has their gym, a chemistry teacher has their lab. Well, for a language teacher, your classroom is your activity laboratory. It's the place that really allows for all that great stuff, movement, interaction, and giving students a sense of ownership over their learning space. And this slide really just lays it all out. On the one side, you have the dream, right? Your own vibrant language gym that you and your students can really make your own. But on the other side, well, that's a reality that's probably a little too familiar. The source points out that these shared rooms often stay dull and unloved, and it's not because teachers don't care. It's because nobody wants to step on anyone else's toes. It becomes this cycle where nothing changes out of fear of annoying your colleagues.
Look, the best solution is for the school to change its policy, right? We all know that. But let's be real. That can take forever. So instead of just waiting around for that to happen, we're going to focus on some super practical, actionable things you can start doing like tomorrow. Things you can do on your own and things you can do with your colleagues.
All right, let's get right into our first technique. This one is all about efficiency. It's about what you can control the second you and your students walk into that room. We're talking about taking back those first precious minutes of class that so often just get lost in the chaos of setting up.
The name of the game here is speed. Seriously, if you need the desks in a horseshoe or in group pods for your lesson, the goal is to make that happen as fast and smoothly as humanly possible. Because all that wasted time at the beginning of a lesson, it can totally kill the energy before you've even started. So what does this actually look like? Well, it boils down to two really simple but brilliant moves. First, train your students. Turn them into your own personal pit crew. Give them roles or just have a system where everyone knows to grab a desk and move it as soon as they walk in. And second, give them a visual guide. A simple seat plan they can grab from a specific spot empowers them to get the room ready themselves without you having to shout directions over the noise. So, getting the room set up quickly is awesome for the day-to-day grind. But what about creating a more permanent feeling of belonging in that space? Well, that's where our second technique comes in. This is about moving beyond just managing the room and starting to actually improve it by talking with the other teachers who use it. And this right here is such a huge insight. You might feel totally alone in your frustration with this bland, impersonal room, but the odds are pretty high that your colleagues feel the exact same way. Just starting a conversation can open the door to some amazing agreements. Let's look at 4 specific ideas you could bring up.
Now, the goal here isn't about you getting everything you want. It's about finding compromises that make the room better for everyone. It's really a mindset shift from, this isn't my room, to, hey, this is our room, so how can we make it work better for all of us?
Okay, so here are 4 fantastic starting points for that conversation. Number 1, wall space. Even just a little piece of a notice board that's yours means you can finally display student work. 2, storage. Having one dedicated shelf means you can create an instant classroom right out of a box. 3, subject corners. A small table with some relevant books or materials can really help anchor your subject in the room. And finally, my personal favorite, a seat arrangement rota. This is genius. It solves that classic tug of war between the teachers who love neat rows and those who need tables for group work.
So, the big takeaway here is that you are not powerless in this situation. Not at all. You've got options. You have things you can do immediately with your students. And you have collaborative steps you can take with your colleagues to make that physical space so much better for everyone.
So we'll end with this really powerful question for you to think about. Don't try to fix everything all at once. Just think about this. What's the one thing, a little corner of your own, an agreed-upon desk layout, a tiny bit of wall space? What's that one thing that would make the biggest positive difference for you and for your students? Start there. Thanks so much for tuning in.